and come up with our own theories based on some conspiracy theories throughout history. I'm your host, Nile, and my co-host...
Kyle, what's up?
Hey. So this week, we're taking on the phantom time hypothesis.
Okay.
Which is a theory that is actually one of the ones that got me into conspiracy theories, so it kind of is... I figured it'd be a good one for me to start as the expert, and you playing the fool role.
I'm ready. I'm strapped in.
Cool.
Let's go.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. So, basically, the elevator pitch on this theory is that 300 years of history never happened.
Okay.
So basically, the years 614 to 911 AD, a period of actually 297 years, never happened, aka the early Middle Ages.
So 9/11 didn't happen.
It was just made up by some Byzantine philosophers.
Okay.
And people.
Okay.
So it all comes down to a couple of different theories of different people in, after that time period that made changes to either the calendar or forged documents or whatever else to fabricate a whole time period for various reasons.
Okay.
So the main crux of the theory falls on the change from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar.
Okay.
In 1582 by Pope Gregory the 13th.
Gregory.
Yeah, Gregory, you asshole. So first of all, he wanted to make sure that Easter always would fall with the spring equinox, which I guess is a nice thing. Have a nice day for Easter.
Okay. First question, Greg. Why?
He wanted Easter to be just on a good day. I don't know. Sometimes they talk about they used various pagan religious things. They kind of brought them into Christianity to make the transition easier.
Okay.
But that's kind of not related, especially too much to this. Anyway, it was also to erase a 10-day error that had accumulated over the last 1,600 years because each year of the Julian calendar was roughly 11 minutes and 14 seconds longer than it should be.
Well, that's a pretty big error.
It's 11 minutes a year. Like it's whatever.
It stacks up though.
It does. It stacks up to basically 10 days.
It fucks up all your appointments.
However, it stacks up to 10 days. However, there's a guy named Herbert Illig who first proposed this theory that says it should have actually been 13 days.
Okay, so they were off twice. They were double off.
They were off unless 297 years never happened.
Oh, right, okay.
So.
Wow.
Either we have a lot of faith in people doing math in 1582, or we, trust people that have dug into stuff since then.
Right. Well, isn't that when we got there were a bunch of cool mathematicians back then? I'm not a mather, but...
You're not a mather?
I suck at math. I'm terrible at math, but...
So, there's another guy involved in this. One of the other kind of pillars of the phantom time hypothesis is Dr. Hans Ulrich Niemitz. Niemitz?
My favorite Niemitz.
His paper was in 1995, as opposed to Illig's 1991 paper. And he actually put up a couple more examples of periods that never happened. So he kind of expanded on Illig's random kind of uttering and into something that actually, had some examples. The first example is a building called the Chapel of Aachen. It was supposedly built in 800 AD, but it was much closer in architectural stylings and building techniques and everything to buildings constructed over 200 years before it.
Okay, well, I suppose that there could be some missing history there, or it could be aliens.
Or throwback, architectural throwback. It happens.
That's true. We're doing kind of a 90s thing right now, so I guess.
Yeah, it's like how we're doing a 90s thing right now. These people were just building a chapel in the style of 200 years ago because they wish they had been born in that time period.
Right.
Oh, speaking of born in that time period, I think Illig really is just one of those people that was like, I was born in the wrong century. Because there's those people, they post on Facebook, I was born in the wrong era. And because he's proposed 5 different theories in his overarching phantom time hypotheses of 5 different eras that didn't actually exist or were fabricated.
So this is his equivalent of like, I was born in the wrong era. What era did you want to be born in? Oh,
supposedly
the 900s?
supposedly 1716.
He wanted to be
Or
born
1719, I think,
okay.
technically.
That was really just the greatest time. They had
Yeah.
They had what did they have? They
much.
didn't have video games. That's one thing.
Dirt.
They didn't have Pokemon Go.
We didn't even have America in 1716.
Yeah, which wow, big fucking loss there.
Wow. Another thing that he claimed that Niemitz claims is that during the time period, the Byzantine Empire underwent massive government reform, but no historical sources exist.
Okay, so
because we can't find like firsthand sources of it, it just didn't happen.
This is just a theory based on...
Oh, this is all circumstantial. It's just like we can't find evidence that this didn't happen, so it happened. That's the entire basis of all of this.
Niemitz, all I gotta say to you, pal, is you know what happens when you assume.
Yeah. Speaking of assuming,
you create a conspiracy theory.
Yeah. That's basically the whole thing, is just people assume like things that they wish happened.
Okay, yeah.
Like, yeah, anyway. It all goes to my main hypothesis about conspiracy theories, that everything is basically trying to be a comic book plot line.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
It's more entertaining than real life.
Yeah, because life's kind of boring.
And terrifying.
But speaking of lack of, like, basically circumstantial evidence, Niemitz talked a lot about how the wide expansion of Islam throughout Persia and Europe, along with the Jewish people's inactivity during that time period, despite the great upheaval happening in Europe, supposedly, means that because there isn't a lot of stuff about that time period, that it didn't actually exist.
Okay, well, I can debunk part of that for him right now. For those not in the know, I am Jewish. I don't really want to bring it up all the time, but I can tell him that was the period of straight chillin'.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So. Do they teach that to you? This is When do we get the straight chillin' revival?
Soon.
Okay. I found a link to his actual paper, and it's actually pretty entertaining to read.
Oh, so there's like a full on essay I can read about.
Oh, there's like both Illig published a paper and Niemitz published a paper. There's another guy that he just kind of peppered in a little thing about with the theory that I forget what his name is. Let me find it. Basically, he was just talking. He added a little thing that the Roman Catholic Church has forged documents in the past. That that's like kind of an accepted thing, I guess. So why didn't they do it again?
Fair point.
Yeah. One of Illig's pet theories is that Charlemagne was actually made up to bolster people's opinion of the ruler in that time. 1 second, the Constantine VII. Because Constantine was basically was using he was the one that was talking about Christian millennialism, which is something that trying to bolster Christianity's credibility by making it seem like it had been around longer than it had. So he was trying to be the Christian emperor in the year 1000 and that's why he added those 297 years were added, so that the Christian tradition had actually existed longer than people had thought, so it was then more credible.
Huh. So you're telling me that millennial bullshit's been going on for a long time?
Oh yeah, like people...
This isn't a recent trend.
But people wanted to be millennials as opposed to, like, not now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He wanted to be around in the millennium. He wanted to be ruler at that point so that he could, be a great man in history.
Okay.
So he invented all of Charlemagne, which is supposedly Charlemagne. The one thing I read in the thing a while ago was that he thought that Charlemagne had accomplished too many things in his life for it to be the life of one man.
Okay, so he's too prolific.
So Illig is just like lazy and is like, that guy he couldn't have done all that.
Okay.
Because Charlemagne did a lot of things.
Yeah, what were some of the big things, do you know?
He was basically...
I haven't read about this guy in a while.
he conquered a lot of things and places, and 1 second, I can give you a couple more.
So he looks at Charlemagne and goes, "That's a busy bee."
He was the king of the Franks, or the Franks.
Okay.
Franks. From 800 to 814.
Mr. and Mrs. Frank, gotcha.
Yes, and he laid the foundations for modern France, Germany, and the Low Countries. He took the Frankish throne in 768 and became king of Italy in 774. From 800, he became the first Holy Roman Emperor. So he just started the Holy Roman Empire.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that...
I really should know that, but it's been like...
I should too. I should too.
I haven't taken a history class since freshman year of college.
Same. It's been a long time.
Sorry, guys. I guess I don't know a lot about Charlemagne.
I know a lot about, like...
But I do think he existed, so I think I know more about Charlemagne than Illig.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, God. So we're looking at Charlemagne going, he's an awfully busy bee. I think kings want to sit on their ass and not do shit and have people, what do kings do? Feed them grapes and stuff. So he just basically was saying he did too much shit.
He was just too busy.
Too busy of a king. Okay.
Yeah.
I can, and you know what? I can totally see, like, a king kind of, like, fudging the numbers for his or like a queen for their own, like, benefit to, like, make them look really cool.
Yeah.
Like that makes sense. Not that I believe this conspiracy theory, but, like, I guess I could see that happening. Like, it's not totally unreasonable, that concept.
Oh yeah, it's the guy that just has to one up everybody. He just is like, oh yeah, you know, this is the new thing. I'm in the year 1000, man.
Yeah, future.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing that Niemitz really liked to do in his paper was try to discredit various dating techniques, and his favorite one was
singles night.
Yeah. Speed. He was not into speed dating.
Right. Well, who is?
I mean, he just didn't think it gives you enough time to really get to know somebody.
He was fucking sick of Zeus or whatever, and
Zeus.
That's the thing that gets advertised to me online all the time. Is is Zeus, because my internet just knows it's Zeus and, like, Russian women.
Oh, speaking of Russian women, there was we get spammers at work all the time, and there was a spammer that was going to my coworker, my friend Joe, that was this Russian, supposedly this Russian woman's named Svetlana.
Okay.
That just really wanted to marry him and come to the U.S. But it was like,
where do I click yes?
It was one of those things where you could tell it was like a form letter, like they were clicking like various parts of the same thing, and like so the sentences didn't really go together.
Huh. Okay.
But it's like she was plaguing him for like months. It was pretty funny. So
I would have clicked da on that one. Get my
get your Russian mail order bride.
Deep web mail order bride.
Anyway, so Niemitz's pet thing to try to debunk is the practice of dendrochronology.
Okay.
Which dendrochronology is the science of dating tree rings.
Okay.
So you know that whole thing about like how tree rings are.
I know how that works.
So he just says that using this method, one easily commits errors, and it is not beyond the danger of circular reasoning, which I think is one of the best puns in like a scientific paper ever. Counting tree rings is not beyond circular reasoning.
Jesus Christ.
Niemitz, you sly
They're all
man.
reading, everybody at the committee was reading this and just rolling their eyes. God damn it, this...
But his main thing was a somewhat sensible one in that there aren't a lot of samples that you can actually trace to that time period in enough size to actually do that kind of testing.
Yeah.
Because it's mainly like little tchotchkes and desks and stuff, which you can't really date a tree from that.
Try dating my ex-girlfriend Candace. I don't have an ex-girlfriend named Candace.
Oh, you don't?
I didn't want to use any real names. Shouts out to all my... Okay, let's move on.
Oh, yeah, and to go with all of this, my favorite quote from Wikipedia: "The proposal has found no favor amongst mainstream medievalists."
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, wait. Mainstream medievalists.
I really don't. I want to know what qualifications you have to be a mainstream
Is
medievalist.
that like oxymoronic?
It's not as good as like an indie medievalist. It's not as credible.
Okay. Moving on.
I was gonna let that lie there. So now I guess we'll get into some of the criticisms of this theory. The main one is that, well, first of all, a lot of their evidence is based on, I can't find that this happens, that this didn't happen, so it happened, which is just not something that's all that great. Another thing, finding, looking into accounts of ancient astronomy, and especially those of solar eclipses, that the lineup of solar eclipses that we found throughout time and how they repeat over time and how long it takes between each one lines up with our current chronology, not this phantom time version.
Okay, and those things are pretty. What's the word? Those are easy. Like
it's pretty
you can
proved
track.
at this point.
Okay, that makes sense.
Another thing is that the entirety of the Tang Dynasty in China existed during this time period, and there's a bunch of historical record for that. So either the Chinese were in on it and were like, "Hey, we're gonna make our own phantom time," or it doesn't exactly track. Along with the fact that there are accounts of Halley's Comet, and we know how long it takes for Halley's Comet to go around and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that we can follow time wise. That's weird though. It's weird. Like I said, I could see it happening. So they're like, it's weird that there's evidence pointing towards what this guy proposes, and there's evidence pointing against it. It like, I don't believe that this happened, but like, it's interesting. It's certainly interesting.
One of my favorite things that I found while researching this is less about the actual phantom time conspiracy and more about this site I found that I now love.
Okay.
It is called groundzeromedia.org.
Okay.
So it's a not-for-profit.
That sounds like some sort of 9/11 truther deal.
Best
is that
thing,
what this is?
Is that the picture at the top of the article, I'll post a link to this. It refers to this as 9/11 AD / the phantom time conspiracy.
What is this structure? There's
I don't know. He really was trying really hard to make sure that 9/11 was in the title of this thing.
Okay.
So that they thought it was all tied together. So
now, why is it in the motivational poster format?
That I don't know. Keep calm and invent time.
Keep calm and conspiracy theory. Woo.
But one of the best parts about this site is that in reading about the phantom time hypothesis, he then, in trying to prove that time is fabricated and or has been fabricated in the past, he cites a much more recent example that I was actually not aware of. So I found out that Osama bin Laden actually died in 2002, not in 2011, as we thought.
What the fuck?
False flag.
What?
False flag operation.
I didn't know this. This is fucking crazy. Enlighten me.
It's all based on the fact that, good quote real quick. There's a new film coming out called Zero Dark 30 that is supposed to reinforce the idea that Osama bin Laden died in a raid that happened in Pakistan on May 1st, 2011. That whole theory, that whole movie was based on and made in to support this next theory that Osama bin Laden died in 2002.
So this is our government's like propaganda to make us think that
there
was a multiple year difference between when we actually killed Osama bin Laden. Why?
Well, he died of liver failure, actually, because Fox reported
too much partying
that Osama bin Laden was hospitalized for dialysis on January 28th, 2002.
No shit. What was he drinking?
Probably not anything good.
Yeah, damn.
But
real quick.
Yeah.
Can we pause this? Because I gotta piss again real bad.
All right.
I was gonna say we should have like a super cut after like X episodes where we just call it we take every time we interrupt the show to take a piss, somebody interrupts to take a piss, and we put it all together in one episode, and it's called The Piss Take.
Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah.
We could also do the burp take.
The burp, yeah, well,
Less so this
You can edit
episode.
those out.
Yeah.
I mean, I settle back in. All right, I'm ready.
All right, let's
I'm
get
ready.
back
Yeah,
to let's get back to Osama bin Laden.
All right, so Osama bin Laden.
He went into dialysis in 2002. He was 2000 September. He actually went in for dialysis on September 10th, 2001. And then died on January 28th, 2002, which I think is the opposite of what I said earlier. But it was from a terminal lung problem and kidney disease. And this was all, the best part about this is this was all based on the fact that Fox News reported that Osama bin Laden died the day after Christmas 2001.
What? Wait, so, okay. You know what? Never mind. Go ahead. You know what? I'm just gonna listen. I'm gonna try and follow along with this.
No, that was just it was a really good diversion while reading about the phantom time hypothesis, just to have like, you know, a false flag operation thrown into it as an example of how we manipulate history.
Oh my
That's all this was. It was just an aside that
Right,
took up like
sure,
4 paragraphs in this thing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You know what? They're right. He died.
Yeah.
What would be the point of covering that up? I guess is the
the only thing I can think of is like, because saying we got him on on like a broadcast is a good soundbite.
But we waited many years according to this.
Yeah, and it's all based on the accuracy of Fox News's reporting, which they've been wrong before.
Okay.
A lot.
Okay.
But in going through all of this, he also took another tangent through the Pope talking about Christ's birthday might have actually been a little different than we thought.
Different presents and stuff.
As in, yeah, there's actually a fourth wise man. He brought a nice he brought a nice Danish.
Okay, I was gonna say like a kid's toy, like a
A toy.
Yeah, like a little rattle.
He brought a mobile to go
like
over
a
the
little
crib.
mobile with made of like animal skulls.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Basically, what I'm trying to get at here is, if you want to read about this kind of stuff, Ground Zero Media is a very entertaining place to go. You get the main theory, kind of, but it's interspersed with just a lot of really good writing.
Yeah, it sounds like cool shit.
Because the first place he goes to disprove the theory is the Bible.
Okay.
And like, even a lot of Christians don't think of that as like timeline perfectly accurate, you know?
Right.
Also, he just brings up the fact that according to the Atlantic magazine, the U.S. government is surreptitiously collecting the DNA of world leaders and is reportedly protecting the DNA of Barack Obama. Decoded, these genetic blueprints could provide compromising information.
Citation needed. Okay.
Yeah, so... Yeah, he also talks about how people post like bad internet postings about celebrities dying. He cites that John Bon Jovi was reported dead in 2011.
Okay.
And Billy Graham died in 2011, and Kim Jong II. So he basically cites a bunch of places where people have done hoaxes about people dying in favor of us manipulating history and towards the phantom time hypothesis. So he's using like people lying on the internet in 2015 to try to prove the like a pope, 2 emperors, which sounds like the setup to a joke, adding 300 years of history in the 600 to 900 time period.
Okay, that's sure. You know what? Why not? This is the guy who like saw that somebody posted that like fucking Avril Lavigne was stung to death by wasps, and like he was like, oh shit. But
they lie about time.
Yeah, this is a time conspiracy.
So there's not really a lot to.
The wasps got Avril Lavigne years ago.
There's not a whole lot of time, a lot of stuff to posit our own theory on this. So instead, I was thinking we could do, what period of time do you wish had not existed?
Well,
or do you think had not existed, I guess?
Do I? Oh, fuck. Well, I mean, I'm not... Okay, well, I'm not super educated. I was a lot more educated about history years ago when I when I still had to take history classes, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just assume, for no particular reason, that before Christ, nothing existed.
Just
Um,
the entirety of the BC era.
yeah,
just
basically
never
all
happened.
of that was bullshit.
So did people plant the dinosaurs, or is it all just what do you think?
Well, much like they planted Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, they planted the aliens planted the bones.
So you think aliens did fabricated all of history before AD 1?
Yes.
Are you at a deposition?
No, I'm not.
Wow.
So that's my theory well, that's part of my theory.
Yeah.
You know, now if I had to answer your question about what period of history I don't want to exist, I mean, that's a bizarre question to me, because like the only history that I know is the history that I've lived in my beautiful 24 years of life. So like obviously I want this time period to exist, but at the same time I kind of don't, because it's stupid.
Yeah.
There's like just a lot of stupid shit right now. Like this year specifically.
Yeah, like
skip over 2016. This shit's I'm fucking done with 2016. It's stupid. So much stupid shit has happened, and I'm over all of it.
Oh, yeah?
But like I have to, like, I'm alive right now, so like I can't say, oh, I wish 2016 didn't exist, because that would mean that's a whole year of my life gone.
Well, we might all just be in like a Matrix simulation.
Oh, okay, don't come listen. That's weird and ridiculous, because we know it's I'm pretty sure it's aliens. The Matrix thing, that's just ridiculous.
Well, it could be like aliens, like the Rick and Morty, where
okay,
David Cross is the alien running the the fake simulation.
It could be real, but I think I'm going to lean towards just like ancient alien. This is me. That's an interesting thought. But I'm going to say that I mean, can I say anything other than the fucking World War II era? Like, can I say anything else other than that? Like, I don't know.
I mean, you can say whatever you want.
That one's a pretty dark mark. There's a lot of just dark marks on history. That's a pretty big one. I mean,
oh man, you're going way more serious with this than.
I mean, well, like if you have to delete, but at the same time, what are the consequences of deleting a time period in history?
Obviously none, because it happened and we lost 300 years and we're all good.
Right. So, anyways, beyond simply deleting a space of history that is just like full of awful shit, I'm gonna say that in a sort of like from God's perspective, maybe solipsistic way, nothing existed until the aliens came and dropped old Jesus, and so the aliens are God, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Essentially, the aliens are gods. They dropped off little old baby Christ.
Oh yeah.
And that's what, and then and from there, from there things happened. I can't. I'm really struggling to justify this theory, but bear with me.
Oh, you don't have to justify it. You just say you can't prove me wrong.
Okay.
And you're good.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say that there's a lot of like dinosaurs, bullshit. Anything before little baby boy Jesus, it can't possibly have happened.
Oh, okay.
Because like what is the world without the context of our Savior? Is this inappropriate?
I don't care.
Okay.
So you've gone really, really long, really not long, but really just intense on that. And I was just I was just gonna flippantly just say, I just wish 1967 hadn't existed.
Okay, why is that?
It was the first year I thought of.
Oh, you were just gonna throw it. Oh man. Well, actually, I changed my mind. What year did the band Korn form?
I think they were probably like If I had to say, they were probably about 1999.
All right, let's nix 1999.
That's fine. Like that was like the height of 2000 hysteria and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of stupid shit back then.
So I guess we'll just go ahead and if I had to think about it for real, this answer will be my final answer. I would just have to say the let's see, probably the time that, what was it? Leif Erikson found America before everyone else.
Okay.
So that never happened.
Okay.
So actually, Christopher Columbus was a great man that found America.
So you're
I'm basically going on that whole like trying to bolster the American image, much like Byzantine Emperor, what's his name, was doing it for Christian millennialism, trying to make American 2016ism stronger.
Okay. By eliminating Leif Erikson?
By eliminating the true, like, first found, other than the people who were living there before.
I was going to say, what about the Native Americans?
But I don't know what year they came over. Like, no one's been able to, hunt and peck that one down.
How about all of it?
Just
How about we just get rid of all of, you know what? If we're going to boost the American image, let's get rid of all of history before Christopher Columbus set foot on our American soil, and he planted the flag down, and he cooked up a hot dog for the Native Americans, and he said, "This land is your land. This land is my land."
From California
to
the New York Islands. I don't remember if that's how it actually goes. But
yeah, and then he sang the Pledge of Allegiance, and he said to the Indians, "We're all pals here. You guys do your thing, and we'll do ours." And
so instead, are we saying that like America was founded when Christopher Columbus, like actually as a country in and of itself, as opposed to just like Christopher Columbus finding the place, setting down some colonists, and then leaving? So he was like America fully formed in whatever year that was, at 1480. Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. Yeah, 1490. If you remember anything from elementary school.
I remember that. Yeah.
So instead, America was founded in 1492. We're adding about 200 some years to the timeline to bolster our nation's image and
really just like push jingoism and nationalism to its limits.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, this is a fucking cut that line. I didn't know where I was gonna go with that. Let's try something new. But yeah, that's my argument. I mean, like, okay, if I'm serious, why wouldn't, like, I guess you would want to cut out the whole Hitler and World War II. When did fucking...
Oh, don't ask me.
You know what? I'll Google it. You go ahead.
What year are we talking about? What are we talking? What event are we talking about?
I was gonna say, like, when did fucking Lenin do his shit?
Oh man, all I remember is when I read Animal Farm, which was 8th grade.
Yeah, communism bad, animal good.
Four legs bad, 2 legs good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Oh man, I haven't read that book since 8th grade.
That book's dumb, but whatever. It's whatever. I didn't like it as a kid. I don't know whether I'd like it now. But that's besides the point. Fuck Animal Farm. Let's talk about what periods of history what else we can erase to make America look better.
So are we just gonna surpass Herbert Illig by like saying 6 different time periods have never existed?
Yeah. Fuck this guy. Most of history doesn't exist.
It was made up by. It was rewritten by history textbooks companies in Texas to really bolster our nation's self-image. So our nation is really just kind of sad right now. If the nation were a human being, it would be just kind of sad, And we need to really bump it up, like turn that frown upside down.
Trim the fat.
America.
Trim the fat.
America, turn that frown upside down.
Right. I don't really know what to say to that.
No?
I'm not
Do
sure.
you agree? Do you disagree?
I'm saying.
Do you concur?
No, yeah, I agree. I'm with you 100%.
All right.
Everywhere where I said I don't understand. And then.
I'm just gonna leave all of that in
No.
so that.
Yeah, I'm with you on this whole thing that you just explained to me. I'm with you on the whole issue.
I can just I can take that sentiment and cut it to various points and make it sound like you believe all sorts of stuff.
Okay. Well, you know that it's not true that I believe that Hitler did good things.
I'm gonna cut that out.
So, well, no. No, cut it. So yeah. Okay, if I'm gonna be serious, yeah, I would say World War II. Doesn't that make sense? I guess, but like that also doesn't really affect me.
Not directly.
Not directly. It affects
but
my
most
family.
of this doesn't direct me. Does not directly affect me.
Yeah, that's true. It kind of affects my family, I think. But like, it'd probably be better if like millions of people didn't die.
But like, we already have an overpopulation problem.
So it's good that the
No.
Holocaust happened.
No.
Is what you're saying. You heard it here first, folks.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. I know that's not what you're saying, but at the same time, that's like the most.
That is probably like the first thing that like
that
would jump
people
to mind.
Jump to. Yeah, I don't know, because like it doesn't make sense to want to like delete a section of history.
Or like a period where we were just like really profitable and like really like on it, just to totally wreck it. So like
seems...
like the Industrial Revolution just like didn't happen.
Wow, that's but like we got cool shit from the industrial. That just sounds counterintuitive.
It definitely wouldn't make things better, I don't think.
No, this just sounds like a bad idea.
Probably. So I guess there's really probably most of history actually existed, I think we can say.
Yeah, I'd assume most of history exists, but I do think it's it's interesting. I think that I could see like an egotistical king or queen get shitty and be like, nah, I want my kingdom to be the one that lands on this date or encompasses like I guess it makes sense, but like.
Yeah, one thing I was reading, there was an explanation that was talking about how, back then they're really, this is obviously true, it's just something you don't think about, that people didn't really have a way of knowing what time or what day things were before a certain time point in history. So you would have to go ask a priest or ask a church person or someone that actually, because they're about the only people that had writings and records. So a lot of people had absolutely no idea what day, what time, anything was or when things happened. So you could that was the whole thing with the Pope and everyone being involved in this, was that they could easily just be like, oh yeah, today's actually this instead of something else, and people would really have no way to question them.
Wow. Pope Greg, that was his name, right?
Greg was the Gregorian calendar guy. There was was another pope before that was actually involved in the conspiracy proper. Greg was just trying to right a wrong by doing the Gregorian calendar.
Okay, so who's the other pope?
The other pope was a good man,
but he altered the timeline.
Not so good man. I'm trying to find the other pope.
It's okay.
There's another pope.
We can edit this.
There's a whole nother pope involved, and he was the one that actually changed the timeline. Pope Sylvester II.
Oh, Sylvester. Okay, so sneaky Pope, Mr. Sylvester or Pope Sylvester, Papa Sylvester,
a sneaky Pope. The Pope Sneaky Sylvester II.
What day is it? I don't fucking know. Wednesday.
Basically,
is what you're saying.
Well, okay. A little more, exact. Like it'd probably be like, oh yeah, it's the year 713, haha, like, and but that's
it's 9:52, haha. Haha.
It's 9:15, time for bed, sir. It's like the sun's overhead. Don't question me, I'm the Pope.
The Papa knows his stuff. You gotta trust Papa. Well, any other information you'd like to impart about this conspiracy before we wrap it up?
I think that basically covers it. We covered a lot of stuff that wasn't the actual theory, but it's fine.
Now, you did mention that this was like the thing that got you into conspiracy theories, and I'm curious what the most interesting, like what got you, like what hooked you on this idea that you thought you were like, this is so interesting and amusing. I'm really into this. Like, what about it made you feel that way?
It's the sheer ballsiness of like not only the people that they say did this, but the theorists themselves that were just like, oh yeah, 300 whole years never happened, and just like putting this idea out when everyone was like, no, that your guys are crazy. But they've still gotten credibility to the point where they were featured on some like TV show recently, where what's that? Chuck Klosterman was like talking about this theory on like CNN recently or something.
Who is Chuck Klosterman? I don't know.
He's a writer. He's a rock and roll writer.
Oh, okay. I believe you.
Yeah. But it's just one of those theories that's so far-reaching and ridiculous that it just sounds like a 90s comic book plotline, where it's just like, oh, this whole time period never happened, and they try to travel back there, and like they find out it's not what they thought, and they have to uncover this whole thing where they have to stop the Emperor from putting this whole time in, and it just really sounded like a ham-fisted comic book plotline,
yeah, like
and that
Dr.
really appeals
Doom
to me.
takes the time cube and transports himself back in history, and
Kang the Conqueror,
Kang the Conqueror influences like one of the emperors or whatever, or the Pope, and he's like, check this. I'm doomed. Check this shit out. Check this plan I got here, and we're gonna erase hundreds of years of history. And later on down the line, there's gonna be people who are gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, along with the fact
into all this
that they just said Charlemagne never happened. Like Charlemagne never existed, which means the entire, because he started the Holy Roman Empire, which means the entire Holy Roman Empire was a fabrication that somehow like built most of Europe and also like was around for a long time. Like there was the implications of this theory, along with the fact that like the Chinese would have had to be involved because that whole dynasty would have been made up. It's such like, it seems like they did a lot of thinking, but about like a couple things, and left so much out there that just made no sense. That it was awesome. I loved it.
It's funny because like most conspiracy theories, or at least the like ones that you think about like as the typical conspiracy theories, so like it's modern and it's very like ahistorical, and this one's just kind of like one of these things is not like the other. It's like. Yeah,
they just like pointed at the period of time that they were just like, oh, we don't have a lot from that, and we're just like, hey, they made it up.
Yeah.
It would have had to. It implied such a grand level of conspiracy, which is why like I love the whole like New World Order stuff, all the stuff that just implies that like decades and decades, if not hundreds of years, these secret organizations were just like. Tendrils were creeping out and affecting everything and like controlling everything, that it's such a ridiculously massive conspiracy that there's no way humans as fallible as we are could ever pull it off.
Well, that's why it's aliens. So
okay, yeah. If aliens did the Phantom Time hypothesis,
if aliens did all this shit, they could have just employed their like whatever their psychic powers or whatever it is aliens do, and just like all the like naysayers, they just go, ooh, alien powers, and the naysayers are like, huh, what? I believe you now. Whoa.
So you're basically, your grand unified theory is aliens.
Pretty much for everything, yeah.
Okay.
So
it's okay. I'm big on.
And you know what? It's because that is such an easy way to explain things, because you're taking a concept that is purely unexplainable and explaining away something with the unexplained. So
aliens.
It's not something you can argue with. So fuck you. It was aliens.
Why did I have Yats for lunch today? Oh yeah, aliens. It can work for everything.
Well, I'm talking on like a macro scale here.
Fine. Tell me my lunch wasn't important.
Why would the alien? What the fuck would? Why would an alien give a shit whether you had Yats or you had Red Robin or you had, Hardee's?
The 3 restaurants that exist.
Yeah. Which Hardee's, if you're checking us out, we could use a sponsor. Hardee's, they got delicious burgers, and
I believe their
tacos.
slogan is "It's right by my house."
Yeah,
Hardee's.
Hardee's.
It's right by my house.
Hardee's. I could walk there, but I won't.
And on that note,
Anyways, I think it's time we started to wrap things up. Did you have any other commentary you wanted to add about this specific subject?
no, just check out Ground Zero Media because it's a really good read. And also, what time period do you not want to exist?
Yeah, send us a Libsyn.
We'll make something where we'll make a Tumblr or something that you can send us questions.
So yeah, we'll do that.
Anyway,
okay. Shouts out to my boy Charlemagne. Shouts out to Harambe.
My boy Charlemagne.
Yeah, and I think that's all I gotta add.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Thanks for listening.
Next week we'll have Kyle back with a new theory. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I don't know if he does, but I'll be playing the fool again, and it'll be a good time.
All right. Well, I can